All right, well, hello everyone. This is the beginning of the process of finishing the round two of beer brewing, the stout. And as I detailed in my last video, I want to see what I can do to make this home-brewed beer as bubbly and carbonated as possible. I'm not a huge of flat beers. I more is better. For the most part on that. So I'm going to open all four of my bottles of beer one at a time, not in the same day. And I just want to evaluate exactly how things were altered based on a couple of minor variances I had in the bottles. So let me transfer my screen here. Wonderful. And without further ado, the Father Justin Homebrew Stout Edition. Good sound. Away we go. Well, that certainly looks delicious to me. A little hard to aim for the bottom of the lettering, like I said a second ago. It is tougher than it looks. And yes, I know I could have cut down by pouring that a little bit more professionally, but that's okay. Okay. Well, that definitely looks like a well-carbonated beer. Some people may not enjoy that. This is what I like in a stout. So these are good bubbles. Good sign. Not bad. It is definitely beer. Not very sweet, which is normal for stouts. Just literally one sip in. I think I do like this a little bit more than the last one. The last one was a little sweeter. That was good though, in its own way. This was nice. It is a lighter stout than plenty that you would get at a pub. But yeah, if I reorder the kits for this exact brewing style, I would lean toward getting the stout over the Pilsner, which I got last time. That is a refreshing and delightful stout. And as you can see, it's the carbonation is still there, dying down now that the initial pour is out of the way. Just for good measure, let's see what happens when I pour in a little bit of reinforcements. Nice, nice. All right. Well, at the absolute least, when I follow the recipe and make a home brew exactly as the recipe told me, it comes out pretty well and without too much difficulty. Good stuff. Well, give me a few days to digest this and we'll get going on bottle 2 from there. All right, moving right along. I probably don't need too much preamble here. It's one day later and I'm ready for another beer. Again, this is bottle number 2, and I wanted it to be a little bit different than the first bottle, but I don't detect any actual difference between this one and the other bottle. Basically, the sticker identifying bottle 1 as bottle 1 is the only meaningful difference I could see. So let's give it a go. I'm expecting this to be as carbonated as the last one. And once again, I'm going to try to pour to the Guinness here, but we'll see about that. Okay. Yeah, that seems very, very, very slightly less carbonated than than bottle number 1, but that could just be my not so perfect memory, or maybe my pour was just a little more gentle this time, who's to say? It does taste exactly like the first bottle from yesterday, though. A fine stout. Got a little reinforcements there. Beautiful. Does what beer should do. All right. Looks like 2 bottles successfully brewed, but that third one, the next one, that's going to be the one that's probably going to be underwhelming. We'll give that a go in a few days. All right, moving right along, trying to keep this video concise as possible. This is beer 3 out of 4 for the second batch, which is a stout. This is the one, like I said, I'm worried about. It did not pressurize very well. So this was the one that I tried to give more air in the bottle as opposed to the other ones, which were a little more full of liquid. So let's give it a go and see what happens. If there is an underwhelming beer, it's probably going to be this one, but let's give it its day in court. Oof. I was looking like zero, almost zero carbonation. There's a little bit of bubble, but pretty disappointing by the look of it, literally. I'm not 100% sure. I think the secondary fermentation, the part that takes place in the bottle, I don't think it worked with this one. To be honest, I'm having trouble like identifying what I'm tasting. I can't tell if I'm drinking pre-beer that didn't enjoy a secondary fermentation process, or if I'm drinking beer that's real beer but so flat that I can't enjoy it. It's a little hard to tell. In any case, it's not pleasurable. I'm going to be pouring this down the drain, unfortunately. Man. Well, you know what? As I'm not drinking this, I might as well crack open the fourth one anyway. So this ends tonight. Okay, it's about 2 minutes later. It hurt to pour all that beer down the drain, but there's we go. So rinsed out the glass, grabbed the fourth and final bottle, and once again, I tried to keep the amount of liquid consistent with the amount of the first bottle, but I added 50% more sugar. So I want to see if more sugar plus equal liquid equals more carbonation. So of all the bottles, this is the one I'm most curious about. So we'll see. It's definitely pressurized. As far as my touch is concerned, it's pressurized as much as the first 2 bottles. If it's more pressurized, I can't tell without opening it. So let's give it a go, and let's hope that I made 3 out of 4 valid bottles of stout this time around. Here we go. All right, good. No explosion. Not bad. I realize I'm using a different glass from the Guinness glass from the other ones. I didn't feel like using that one after all, even though I said I'd use the same consistent glass. But yeah, it's obviously carbonated. It seems about as bubbly as the first two. It's beer. It's delicious. It's on point with the first two bottles. I'm enjoying this more right this second, but I'm legitimately thirsty and ready for a drink, so I might be subjectively just more excited to be drinking something tasty right this second, and it's all in my head in that way. But yeah, upon pending further prayer and discernment about it, it would seem that the conclusions for now, and if there are any actual beer brewers watching these videos, thank you for watching, by the way. Let me know what you think. If I had to just wrap up my conclusions, it seems like as long as you fill the bottles to the appropriate level, and as long as you add enough sugar or a little bit more, everything's going to work out. Frustratingly, I don't know why the third bottle failed so spectacularly. It was so flat and such a difference. I fear that it may not have had anything to do with the amount of liquid, but that I maybe screwed the cap wrong, or there was some way that maybe just something went wrong that I haven't thought of yet that just resulted in the entire bottle being a dud. Hard to say. But what I do feel comfortable concluding is that when you follow the recipe, it becomes beer. And if you add a little bit more sugar than the technical recipe, it works out really good. And again, I'm not using glass bottles, so there's no risk of explosion, which is what all the instructions warn you about with respect to properly adding the right amount of sugar to your bottles. They're like, hey, don't let your glass blow up in bottle bombs. With a plastic bottle, I don't think that was very likely to happen. But yeah, the recipe works. The recipe plus 50% more sugar also works. And that is enough of a conclusion to carry me on to batch number 3 in a couple of weeks. Thank you all for watching. It was nice to do something a little off topic for a change, just go for the hobbies of it all. God bless you all, and here's to the beauty of proper beer. Cheers.